everybody, it's Julie Wiebe. I am chiming in today to say hello and to check in with you guys regarding something that has become really my new soapbox, and that is helping future build a new generation of moms and women in and around the understanding that they have about pregnancy and postpartum recovery. And we will do that. We will accomplish changing their perceptions, their expectations on their body by planting seeds now that help them understand where they are prior to pregnancy. We want to encourage women to get their own baseline. So that looks like helping them measure their diastasis prior to pregnancy. That could include, if we can pull it off, internal exams prior to pregnancy. Let's ask women to check in with providers prior to pregnancy to determine officially what's happening with them inside. Get your baseline. Have someone who can compare what you look like prior to a pregnancy and potentially a vaginal delivery and what you look like postpartum. For us to understand any symptoms that you're having, if you're near your baseline as it relates to something like prolapse. We don't really have a lot of great information around norms for our populations of women. Let's figure out what people look like prior to pregnancy so that then we can start to look at what would be our normal expectation postpartum, and for women to have that information on themselves. Like one woman doesn't necessarily need all the statistics. She needs to understand what her own baseline is. And for diastasis, we can measure that prior to, and you don't have to go to a professional for this, we can measure that prior to pregnancy and understand going into pregnancy, you likely fall into the norms that we understand exist. For women that have never had children, we do have one study that has shown us a range of normals all the way up and down the midline that is as wide as 3.5 centimeters. So you may fall somewhere in that normative range, you likely do. And so that way postpartum, if you started your pregnancy at 2.5 centimeters and postpartum you're at a 4 centimeters at your widest point, that conversation is really different if I'm only like a little, like 1.5 centimeters away from where I started. That's such a different understanding than saying, oh my gosh, I was 0 and now I'm 4 centimeters. Like that perception is so different. One is like, and one is like, oh, okay, cool. I'm on my way. Like that starts your recovery process in such a different spot. And I think one of the things that I'm up against clinically is perception. It's really this misunderstanding that we've created around dysfunction, and measurement. And really, if we can help people understand that those measurements for them prepartum are actually part of their very functional system. And so their very functional system is expected to have a small separation between their abdomen, the sides of their abdomen, and they're very functional with that. And so for them to understand that going in will help change their perceptions on their expectations on the other side. That's a piece of the puzzle that we're up against now that we can alter by planting seeds in this next generation. Like we can plant better seeds of understanding what is a normal female body prior to pregnancy, and helping women get to know their bodies, and teenage girls. Like we have it within our power now to plant seeds to change the next generation of women's understanding and perception of this. Believe me, this is potentially a huge pipe dream of mine, but it was also a pipe dream of mine that we would change the conversation out there for postpartum women wanting to get back into fitness, and it's starting to happen. So let's dream big, we'll dream together. These are actionable steps we can take. If you are someone who is seeing this video, if you follow me, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you are someone that is likely interested in advocacy for women. You are a woman, and you may be a new mom and a new mama athlete that wants to get back into fitness. You know women that are trying to get pregnant. Okay, women that are just starting their pregnancy. Ladies that are hoping to be pregnant one day. You, as their friend, as their cousin, as their auntie, like whatever it is, you have the power to really embolden them to change the way that they're going to feel on the other side of their pregnancy. And we can do this for the next generation of women, like our teenagers. We can get our kids diastasis baseline right now. We can kind of understand their body for them right now and have conversations with them after they deliver. What a gift. What a gift you're going to be able to give a woman in your life to say, you know what? This looks just like you were when you were like prepartum. This is like a centimeter off of where you were. What a different place to start, because that emotional and mental battle that a lot of mommies find themselves in about their own bodies postpartum, we can head some of that off at the pass. You know what I mean? Like we're starting to get some better solutions and strategies around the physical piece, but this could be something we could sew into their hearts now, so that on the other side, we have less of that fear and this sense of brokenness and this, the distressing messages that are in social media. I don't know where we're gonna be in 10 years. We gotta start sowing in some good grass, people. It's the only way to get weeds out is to get good information in. And so let's get some good info into our mommies now. Let's start helping these women understand their bodies now. Take a look, take a mirror, know your body. It's about to do something incredible. Give it all the positive love it needs to do that. But that expectation and that perception is something that we can do so much about ahead of time. So this is just an actionable, positive step we can take now. Get the word out. Let's start talking to our moms, have them talk to their friends. Let's start talking to our midwives and our OBs that are in a position to actually do some of these things for us. For these women, they're gonna go in and see them before they get pregnant. Let's have them help us get baselines for these women, okay? Let's work together as a community to try to change this next generation of moms. All right, guys, take care.